What is going on, guys, and welcome to episode 4 of Rhino Hour, my podcast of pretty much anything I want to talk about. I'm going to throw this up and talk about whatever I want. The viewers can come in, but I don't know if the viewers are going to be in. They're not going to be at the beginning of the show. This is going to be kind of mine to begin the stream. Maybe at the end, I'll let you guys come on and critique my roster. With me today seems to be a Rhino Hour favorite. Match fan, what's up, bud? What's up, Tub Tub?
Hey man, what's going on?
We see a couple guys in the chat. What's going on, Ray? What's going on, Sergio? As you see, we're pretty fucking stupid. And you know what? I can be stupid because this is my channel. I'm not on Mets Weekly, so don't have to be somewhat professional. As I should probably adjust my shirt. Don't want to show any kitties. No free kitties here. Only fans for that. So pretty much, title of the video, the stream, I guess, video is this is going to be my dream off season. Back to back. Yo, facts. Raiders losing back to back. They're in trouble.
Hey, fuck off, all right? Like,
So
we get it. We suck, all right? We're not good.
Oh, the clowning. But besides the point, we're here. This is going to be because I don't have time to record a sit-down video and, have all the fancy graphics and videos and all that. I just don't have the time. I'm just pretty much working and sleeping and eating, and that cycle repeating. So we're going to do my dream off season. I had a night free. It's probably the only night I'm going to be free this week to stream. So I'm like, you know what? Let's do it tonight. My Mets dream off season. Let us begin right away. This isn't the most realistic. It's a possibility, but it's not like, oh, I signed Correa, I signed Story, I signed every free. No, there's a purpose to every signing. But is this what I think the Mets are going to do? Hell no. I don't know what Sandy Alderson's going to do. This is just me talking about what I think and what I would do and what I want. It's kind of again, the word dream is not a reality. It's a dream off season. Hey, you coming from Hayden? What's up? I think I did see you ask this question in Hayden's chat, and we're gonna answer it in a bit, but I'll answer it now, and I'll let Mets fan. I'll let Mets fan answer, and then I'll answer it because it's gonna be a big part of. I say a big part of my off season. So who of those three guys, who do you want the Mets to go after?
Well, there's first you're going to go with Correa if you want to go with kind of a more personality for your team. He's obviously one of the best players in baseball, but it's kind of unrealistic at this point when you're kind of piling on top of a possible maybe bringing back Marcus Stroman and as well as let's see, Javier Baez. You also have the Lindor contract here. You're probably going to extend Jacob deGrom in the next year. So I don't see that happening. Chris Bryant makes the most sense for me because he can play right field because you're most likely saying goodbye to Conforto. And then you also have Mark Vientos, Brett Beatty as well coming up. And maybe Ronnie Mauricio. We don't really know because he's big enough to be the third baseman.
And he's raking
right
in
now in
literally
the fall league. Oh yeah. So and then there's Chapman if you want to buy low on a third baseman right now. And I would go Chris Bryant right now. That's my preference. But that's just a thing. And I think he's something that we definitely have lacked recently, kind of some versatility. He destroys left-handed pitching. This is a guy who has postseason experience as well, along with Javier Baez. And I think I said this to you before we even started the stream. If you want to add a friggin' Anthony Rizzo, bring the Cubs trio back together and shift Pete over to DH, by all means, do it. Get as many guys that have the most postseason experience as possible because these guys don't, and they have not been able to win with the core that they've had right now. So changes have to be made. And whether it's adding some outfield, upgrading at third base, getting some more bullpen arms that are experienced, I mean, something's got to happen for them to try and win now if they're trying to do that right now.
Yeah. I mean, you're asking, I know you're probably asking this question for who's going to play third base. Who do I want the Mets to play third base? You might get a completely different answer from me there after this video, during this video stream. So let's clear this up again. Dream off season. It's not what I think's gonna happen. Trade back, dude. We can just Eli. We can dead. I mean, I get the joke. He's a free agent. We can bring back Harv if we want Eli. I know you're trying to poke fun, but what's going on, E? Again, unrealistic. I wouldn't say unreal. It's not likely. This is just again. If I had open field, what do I want to do for the Mets? What do I want the Mets roster to look like? This is what I am doing. So let's start off with the guys who are current free agents for the Mets and who would I like to re-sign, and we'll throw that up real quick. Obviously, we have to start with the big guy. That is Mr. Javier Baez. You know, you trade PCA, you get Trevor Williams is also could be a part of this team next year with Trevor Williams. Javi has to be brought back. Obviously, Lindor, and you had the controversy, but guess what? He was one of the most productive Mets down the stretch in the second half to the false, almost not close playoff run. But again, Javi was kind of the whole team because when everybody was struggling, Javi seemed to be the only guy stealing bases, hitting homers, driving in runs, creating those WRC plus points. He was the guy that was doing it.
Loser.
So Javier Baez definitely has to be Met next year, and I give him 7 years, 186. It's a pretty reasonable offer for Javi. Let's get to the other one. Is obviously Aaron Loup. Everybody wants Loup back. I've seen a lot of people being like, "Go give him a 3-year deal." No, thank you. Again, I would like him to be here, but at these 3-year deals that I'm seeing, if it's one with like 2 option years, not against that, but I don't think just giving a 35-year-old lefty a 3-year, firm 3-year deal, maybe not the best idea. Noah Syndergaard, again, I think he accepts the qualifying offer at 1 year, $18 million. Noah pitched 2 innings, so you don't see a lot. We didn't see a lot of Noah, but again, you're hoping now he got 2 innings of work. Now he can be built up for ready in spring training. And then obviously just for the memes, we got Heath Hembree on a minor league deal with his spring training invite. Could be bullpen depth. Nothing wrong with that. I've seen a lot of Rich Hill, which we'll talk about Rich Hill, and we'll go to Hill here. Everyone keeps asking. I wouldn't mind Rich Hill, but I was kind of debating a second lefty in the bullpen. Do I want to go Rich Hill, or did I want to get a legit number 2 lefty? So I kind of went with the legit number 2 lefty. Again, I do kind of like with Hembree, a minor league deal, major league in spring training invite.
You have uncertainty. You have uncertainty with this one. Let's not forget that David Peterson.
Well, yeah, again, but he has an option. He also has options too, so you stick him down.
And again, like I think what you're looking at here, and obviously this is a dream off season, but I think what you're also looking at here, and what I want them to do, and I don't think they're going to, because I don't think they're going to stretch out as far as they possibly can for financial flexibility this year. Yeah. But I do want to have like that entire major league ready team in AAA. So it's like that's what I want to do. And then, have like a whole 25 men who are ready and Brett Beatty. You know what I mean? Like just have that.
And Brett Beatty, yes, of course. Yeah, and Vientos. Vientos and Beatty, and then,
Because like our farm system is so top heavy right now that like our top heavy guys, they can start off in AAA. And then everybody else has to have major league experience. Like try to bring back Josh Reddick or something like that. Bring back somebody, major league ready guys, and not fucking Albert Almora, guys who actually have experience, but like
he has a World Series run.
Are kind of past their prime, but can do the job if they need to.
Yeah, 100%.
But again, the taxi squad is what I'm trying to say. Of course,
and I think I didn't do this. I only kind of built a 26-man roster. But if you know me, minor leagues, build a minor league depth. Either worst case, just do it for a good autograph team. Give me a bunch of major leaguers. King Felix wants one of the year. Throw him in Vegas. Or I keep saying Vegas. I'm used to saying Vegas is their farm team. But like Harvey doesn't really have any accolades. Any other like random Cy Young Award winners who's like washed now?
Harvey was an all-star, right?
He's all right. You know what? Just kind of like throw
all-star
everybody
starter.
All-star start. But like pretty much again, anyone who's like on the brink of like the end of their prime or just wants like a shot, throw them in Syracuse. If Mets can get something out of them.
We just saw yesterday the Cardinals get rid of John Gant, former Mets farmer.
Former Met prospect. Traded for Kelly Johnson. Traded for I wouldn't mind it. Again, just continue to I love it. Now I'm seeing a lot of questions from Hayden's stream. It's kind of funny. Should the Mets be interested in no. If there
I
was
wouldn't
no
do it.
if there was no qualifying offer, maybe I would do it. But now that there's a qualifying offer, there's no. I mean,
If
there's
he
value in
wasn't
Justin. Yeah,
if he
there's
wasn't
value in
coming off of
Verlander.
Tommy John, then I would consider giving up a
Yeah,
draft pick
exactly. If he
for
was
him.
healthy and you got like Justin Verlander from 2 years ago, then yes. But again, if you know me and if you're seeing what my offseason is, I'm keeping that first round pick, extra first round pick. That's again, the farm system needs it as much as his team is. They should jump at it. I think, Verlander, if he didn't have the pick attached to him, I would be interested in him, kind of like how Charlie Morton was, where like they got rid of him, a veteran guy you can add to this rotation to get innings. But now with him having the qualifying offer and having the pick, I'm not giving up giving up the 14th pick for a guy coming off Tommy John, which, you know, could be Justin Verlander from old, but there's a shot that he blows his arm out, and now you've given up the pick, and potentially it becomes, the next Jonathan India, or I don't know what Jonathan India's first name, but I think about like the mid first round picks that end up blooming pretty much. All right, what do we got? What is so yeah, pretty yeah. That's about it. Again, there's just that first round pick attached to it. No, if there was no pick, I'd explore it, but now with no pick, I don't. I would like to add a veteran, but like if you look at the rotation, if you look at the market, I don't see a guy where like, hey,
I'm not totally against like giving up those guys who were offered qualifying offer, giving up those picks, because I do think that the international prospect type of realm is a lot more.
Well, yeah, of course.
Has a lot more value to it and a lot more depth to it.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm
every
not saying,
year.
yeah.
But again, if he wasn't coming off a Tommy John surgery, you kind of need somebody to be a guarantee and a proven guarantee. Obviously, Justin Verlander's having an incredible career, but
good MLB the show card.
Good MLB the show card all around, and yeah. So I would not take. I wouldn't take
the risk isn't worth the reward.
I wouldn't take a future risk on, the same. I would not take the same risk that you're taking, and I wouldn't say risk, but I wouldn't take the same on like two different guys, because you have Syndergaard who's coming back from the same issue. So, but he's a lot younger. That's a different story. But,
yeah. So again,
I'm not trying to have a rotation of
question marks.
Question marks. Yeah, exactly.
So again, good question. Good again. Prime Verlander from 2 years ago, 100%. Just not now. The Mets aren't the team that could do the risk versus the reward. I think that's more of a Dodger team, or the Tigers. They could use the veteran around Casey Mize, Schoolball, Matt Manning, go back to Detroit, kind of a better spot. If not, just take the Houston deal. So now let's start. We got the guys who are being re-signed. How about we talk about some guys externally? I think we should start with the bats. Do we sign Correa, Mets fan? No, we do not. Again, I love Carlos Correa. I think he's a great player. I think he's the best player on the market. But again, I just don't think the Mets are Correa away. Where these guys, again, they're still solid to great players, but I just don't think the Mets are a Correa away from winning. But I would rather deepen the team out a little bit. Obviously, Chris Bryant, and if you see the positions they're going to play, I have Chris Bryant replacing Michael Conforto in right field. I just think, again, Conforto, obviously it's sad that he's going to go, and obviously he's, again, great dude, great person, still one of my favorite Mets of, kind of all time, because, again, he's just such a great dude, and he was productive when needed. Bit inconsistent, bit streaky, but, he still was good defensively. He made some clutch throws, not many clutch hits. But KB replaces him left-hand again, and I'm trying to fill some of the problems that the Mets had last year. One of the problems is they can't hit left-handed pitching. Chris Bryant murders left-handed pitching. One of the Mets fan, what's his WRC plus versus lefties?
I'll give it to you
in a second.
You can keep
good batting average against lefties. Good Rhino rambling. Good power against lefties. Again, good MLB. If you look at MLB the show, great stats versus lefties. The Mets desperately need it. Again, their balance of left, right. Who cares?
The sexy swing of all time, by the way.
Really, again, very quick stroke through the zone. How do you feel about DeStefani, Rendon, and Bundy? Bundy's a free agent too. DeStefani and Carlos Rodon are pretty decent. I think there could be decent options for the Mets as their fifth starter. I go a little cheaper because I make a trade for a starter, but I wouldn't mind seeing Rendon or DeStefani in a Met uniform. Then we go to
Okay.
Starling Marte. The guy seems to be linked to the Mets every single year. Why not this be the year that the Mets just finally sign this guy or acquire this guy and not have to give up Brandon Nimmo or any top prospects? All you got to do is just give him some money. And I think 2 years. I am a little afraid of his age, him being 33. So I'd only give him like a 2-year deal, maybe 2 plus an option. So again,
and you can always move Nimmo to center if he's showing any signs of
again, yeah, and it pains me to put that because I am the Nimmo as a Gold Glove center fielder. He only committed one, I think, error in center field, which is great. The OAA was above average, so a positive OAA from Nimmo in center, and that elite robbery of Brian Reynolds. So again, Marte, you put him there, great base runner. He's not fast, but he's a great base runner. He makes good contact. Should have won the batting title, but for some reason there's a rule that if you change, it's stupid. Change leagues, you don't win the batting title. Kind of dumb, but excuse me, high batting average. Some sneaky pop, hit some doubles, great base runner, and the Mets again now with Luis Rojas gone. Hopefully now can let Baez go, let Baez run, let Marte run, let Lindor run, let these guys loose. Starling Marte, and that's how you create runs. Maybe not for WRC plus, but for runs on the scoreboard. And then you see the guy I have at third base. It is not the sexy name. It is Eduardo Escobar. Because, again, I am filling all the problems with the Mets. Mets fan, what is the biggest problem for the Mets last year? Offensively?
So many. Jesus Christ.
But what's one? Oh, yeah, driving in runs. Mets fan, what does Eduardo Escobar do?
I don't know. No clue. He gets RBIs. I know that.
He gets RBIs. And guess what? You know what? The analytics guys don't love him. Strikes out a lot. I get that. Switch hitter, but he produces runs, and that's what this team needs. I could easily see a Marte double and an Eduardo Escobar. I don't know how they hit in the lineup. We'll see a lineup later in the video. They're not at high, one's going to hit the top, but one's at the end. But again, switch hitter, which I like the diversity of having some more switch hitters in the lineup, him and Lindor. I like having a couple of switch hitters, which he can do. And again, has a power stroke, has multiple 100 RBI seasons. I get it. The analytics people don't like that, but the team needs it to produce runs on the scoreboard, maybe not on the stat sheet. So there are my offensive big upgrades, new starters. Rip me a piece. Why? What analytics say that these guys suck?
First I'll give you Chris Bryant versus lefties because you did ask for that.
I did, yeah.
138 WRC plus.
That's 38% better than the average. I know that.
Yeah. This year for his career 155. So that's... Daddy, get him. Now I'm okay with Eduardo Escobar because he's probably going to be in that lower third of the lineup either way. So,
and I also didn't mention, I didn't say it, which again, if you know this channel, there's a certain prospect that I am betting my life is going to be a very productive major league ball player. I'm not going to logjam him, but I am going to find a capable stopgap before a year. And then that kid will come up and win the National League Rookie of the Year. I am calling it right now. Sorry.
Khalil Lee? You talking about him?
I'm not talking about Khalil Lee. Got a little bit better bat to ball skills, but besides the point.
Yeah, I'm okay with Escobar. I think my only problem with Escobar is I just don't know how long he's going to be able to hold up third base, and if you're relying on him to be a stopgap for Beatty, you're probably going to need a lot from. You're probably going to need a lot from him, especially when the Mets have needed a lot from third base recently. And how old is Eduardo Escobar? He's
35.
35. So
I just need one more year. One more similar to the last 3 years of baseball. Just need one more.
And then you're like, okay, maybe he has a problem with New York. That's the thing.
Then we see him sooner. Then we see the majestic Well, then you see Vientos. Let me phrase it. You'd see Vientos first. Then you'd see the majestic unicorn that is Brett Beatty. I've called him a
He's
majestic.
good, man. I give it to you. He's good.
This kid is going to be
He's really
special. I just, again, Rookie of the Year 2023. Bet it now. Thank me later when you make hundreds of thousands of dollars. All right, that's done. So those are your new offensive starters. But this team needs some pitching. And, bullpen and starting rotation definitely are needs. Every team needs bullpen. They need starters. What do we got here? Ronnie, what about Ronnie Mauricio's further away? So we're not talking Ronnie. Ronnie will be here. I'm not trading Ronnie yet. But he'll be here. Let's go to the arms. Let's go to the arm barn and let's add a few guys. And you see the stupid ass arm barn. You see the first name and you can already hear why do you sign John Gray? I'm only signing John Gray because of the inconsistency of a Taijuan Walker. The Jekyll and Hyde season was, again, all-star first half and then became batting practice in the second. Just, again, I love me some pitching depth. Obviously, Joey Lucchesi is going to be out most of the season, if not all the season. You lose, You lose Lucchesi. Obviously, you do get David Peterson back, so now you're getting some depth in the rotation that you could stockpile at Syracuse. Now you're getting a couple names back in the rotation. Obviously, you're going to get Syndergaard back. I do have his trading for a start. I didn't make a graphic about it, but we will talk about it. And obviously, Cookie will be back too. So now you have a couple guys in the rotation. John Gray, again, just a fifth starter, extra arm. Gave him a decent contract, so I guess I'm guaranteeing him to be the fifth starter. And I can see in the chat, yes, there is a couple of MLB The Show goons that I need to add to this bullpen because we have two bad MLB The Show cards in Edwin Diaz and Seth Lugo. So why not add a couple of goons and Kendall Graveman, who's coming off a tremendous year. And yes, relievers are up and down. I know there's a risk and reward, but Kendall Graver, nasty sinker, pitched pretty well besides the home run to d'Arnaud in the postseason. Again, the guy with great postseason success. And again, relievers so finicky. Again, it's a hit or miss kind of thing. And obviously, with Aaron Loup, we got to give him a second lefty because I don't want to kill Aaron Loup. And it could be Rich Hill, but I think Jake Diekman is just nasty Deke. So another guy with a sinker, that funky little three-quarters delivery, just like Aaron Loup. So then be able to have Diekman, to have whoever the manager is, to pull out, okay, we can use against Bryce Harper or Juan Soto. We use Loup in the seventh, and if he comes back up in the ninth, hey, now we have that second guy who's elite in Jake Diekman. How are you feeling about those pitching acquisitions?
I like it. John Gray, I'm not big on, but again, it's a 5-starter, and like you said, you can mix around a bunch of guys, stockpile them in AAA. Who else did you have? You had Graveman. Graveman's fine. I'm not, again, like I don't.
It would have been Craig Kimbrell, but the White Sox did pick up his option.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
I like it. Jake Diekman, I'm a huge fan of. Yeah, I like it. I probably would add another lefty instead of Kendall Graveman. That's just my preference, only because of
we'll sign Brad Handel minor league deal too. So
yeah, only just because we've been just so starved for left-handed pitching. I don't think we have a single one ready to go to AAA that's MLB ready. So I can't think of anyone. It seems like we're recycling out of lefties every single year. Like, you had your Jerry Blevins, you had your what was it?
Justin Wilson,
Zamora, Loop, Zamora. I mean, those were the guys you flip flop. You had nobody that was like a consistent lefty that was your lefty that you developed. The last one I can probably think of is
who's decent. I don't know.
I can't really think of anyone besides like Peterson who you can move to the bullpen.
Yep. And obviously Rich Hill could be another option if you want to slide Rich Hill back. Again, I just kind of wanted to go with the elite.
And again, it probably would have been an opportunity to open it up for Thomas Sapucki, but he got hurt.
He got hurt and he didn't look good at the time we did see him.
He did not look good at all. So Yeah, I don't know. I would literally stack up so many freaking lefties that like
And
there
there's
isn't a
also some decent
single.
I mean, the Cardinals had to go ahead and re-sign TJ McFarland, which he had a really sneaky good year for them, which again, guy you never really hear about. TJ McFarland had a really sneaky year for the Cardinals. They re-signed him.
XA, ex
What?
Oakland A,
Ex-Oakland,
TJ
yes, that is
McFarland.
true. Former
Yeah.
Oakland, Baltimore Orioles. Well, Andrew Miller, he's like 37. He's available. Obviously, Elite Brad Hand is available now. Andrew Chafin, this the other name
Yeah.
the A's picked up. There's a couple lefties out there. And I guess we can talk about a couple other like elite bullpen arms. Obviously, Razel Iglesias is the biggest name, or Kenley. Those are kind of the two big names out there for closer roles, if that matters. Well, it does matter for some reason, but not my point. You pitch your best relievers in the biggest spots. Just that's just my opinion. Who cares if the biggest jams in the seventh inning or the ninth inning? But that's just me. I think Razel Iglesias does take the qualifying offer because it's just at $18 million. You're not going to get more than that for a reliever. And Liam Hendricks, didn't Liam Hendricks get what did Hendricks get in last year? What was his deal? I think he had the biggest
He
reliever
got
deal.
a lot.
He
That's
got a
what he got.
lot.
He got a
He did get a
lot,
lot, but I don't think Razel's going to
which
get.
is
Yeah, as you looked at it,
stupid.
yeah, for a reliever, the most. And Razel Iglesias was bad last year, was bad in 19, was decent in 18, and now he's back to being elite.
I didn't think a contract. I didn't think a contract could be more stupid than the Familia one.
Liam Hendricks deal.
But they proved the White Sox proved me wrong.
Hey, they wanted the second best
Um,
reliever in the game. Nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
um,
But again, some other relievers, Joe Kelly, great arm from the Dodgers. He could be a guy you want to bring in. He's not a closer, but another great middle reliever. Trying to remember if there's any like Steve Cishek, funky delivery. He's out there. I'm just trying to think of like guys that I saw before. What I can't read that, but yeah, it's a big deal for Hendricks.
3 years, 54 million. Like that's just insane.
So that's what the
I'm
AAV
sorry.
on that is. What I can't read it.
Well, he pretty much gets a raise going into let's get this.
Yeah, I think if the Mets bring back Familia, it would be pretty damn. I mean, if it's on a minor league deal or like cheap, I'm not against it, but I don't want it to happen.
It looks
There's
like it's
better
backloaded.
It's
It looks like
backloaded.
it's
Okay.
backloaded and has a $15 million club option at age 35.
Ooh, I mean, that's not terrible. I mean, again, like
It's
Hendricks is
just
kind of like I think Hendricks and Graveman are pretty comparable. Like they both were like terrible young and during their young ages, but like they found their spot. Now they've kind of like developed into like really good relievers. Am I crazy for saying that? Because I think like both of them sucked. Like Hendricks sucked with the Twins. Then he went to Oakland. He found his kind of catching, and then became one of the second best reliever in the game, in my opinion. And then same thing with Graveman. He was Rangers bad. Then he goes to Seattle and then just finds it and then continues that success into Houston. And now he could be getting a pretty decent sized guy. I mean, not to the extent of a.
Graveman was originally a starter.
Was a starter.
For the A's.
The A's. He was an ace too. I forgot he was an A too.
Yeah, there's
I think of him as a
XAs all
Ranger.
over the place.
Yeah, he's
there's
been
XAs all over the place.
Same thing like Liam Hendricks. He was a Twin. Then he got traded. I think wasn't he an A2? Plus, we had his big years, obviously. He had his big years in Oakland. But again, besides the point. So just bring in another high quality, better than Trevor May, but like again that eighth inning to middle relief role. Just another replacing Familia, just more reliable arms in the bullpen and a second lefty. Let's go to the bench, which for the Mets this year, the bench mob was a big part of their season. And I can already say these are going to be some really good guys on the bench. But you know what? Good teams what am I trying to say here? Good teams have good benches, so it pays to have a really good bench. And everybody on this team, on this bench at least, does something well. Let's start off with the big one, Adam Duvall. World Series, big postseason. Again, kind of the extra thing. He's actually the DH on this team, which I forgot. There's probably going to be a National League DH. So he would be a guy I would throw a decent amount of money at just to be the DH. Good power bat, and just like kind of Eduardo Escobar, strikes out a ton. But Mets fan, what does he do?
He drives and runs, man. He's clutch.
He's clutch. He drives
dingers.
and runs. This is what this team needs. Again, power bat. He led the National League in RBIs this year, which, again, imagine saying that in the offseason that the guy that the Braves non-tendered would be the guy leading the National League in RBIs. Power bat. And he actually has some positional flexibility. He was playing center field for the Braves in Game 6 of the World Series, or Game 5. Game 5, I think both of them actually playing center field. So, again, we don't, obviously I love Nimmo in center, but he can play left, he can play right. If you need him, he can play third base. Obviously, he can play first. So, some positional flexibility with some power. Speaking of positional flexibility and power, Brad Miller. It kind of pains me that I won a couple of Phillies, but the Phillies actually offensively are pretty solid. That's not the downfall of that team. But Brad Miller's a solid guy, can play second, legit can play everywhere. He's kind of older now, so he really can only play like the right side of the field and like maybe the corner outfielders. But again, still gives you some flexibility. He can play second, can play first, he can play the outfield. Or worst case, he is your big power right-handed bat off the bench. When you need a big homer and it's a right-hander on the mound, Brad Miller can be that option. And then Andrew McCutchen. I know a lot of people are like, why do you want Kutch? Because you know what? This team kind of needs a veteran leader. And I brought in Eduardo Escobar, who's kind of a vet, and he kind of knows around the game. But Andrew McCutchen is he's just one of those guys you want in the clubhouse. He just seems to be, wherever he goes, the clubhouse is good. He's just one of those guys who is a leader and can bring a clubhouse together, and the Mets kind of need that. And Kutch, again, also still can murder left-handed pitching. A Mets fan, what's the biggest problem? What was one of the biggest problems for the Mets last year? Oh, come on. This is supposed to be the Moneyball thing. You are dropping the ball on this. They sucked against left-handed pitching. They did have a lot of issues, so I'm sorry. But the Mets did suck last year. But besides the point, what Kutch does, even at his older age, still put up very solid offensive numbers for lefties and can be a veteran leader in the locker room. If that's your bench, how you feeling?
I'm really not sold on Adam Duvall. I really am not. I'm going to tell you, I don't like it. I really just, there's something about it where I just can't. You might as well bring back Brandon Drury at that point. I don't feel it, man. It feels like Michael Kadire. I'm sorry. It feels exactly like that. I'm sorry. I apologize. Brad Miller, I'm fine. Another guy I'm pretty sure can play both infield and outfield, right?
Mm-hmm. More of the corners, just the corners, and then probably the right side of the field. That is age maybe third.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And then who's the other guy? Andrew McCutchen, the guy I want to use to replace Kevin Pillar. And that's yeah, I like that. Kevin McCutchen, he's not an upgrade to Dom defensively in left field.
Well, yeah.
Obviously, you're coming off of the bench here.
Yeah.
He's an upgrade offensively to Kevin Pillar. I guess he's also like a I don't know how to say that. It's just like a veteran to come off the bench. Just the guy to replace Kevin Pillar, because Kevin Pillar stinks.
And also, again, a leader in the locker room. That's also big. That's why
a leader in the locker room. Again,
which this team needs, supposedly.
Which this team supposedly needs, with a lot of choke slamming happening. So, yeah, I'm good with that. Another guy I wouldn't mind bringing onto the bench. Jose Iglesias, that's another one. I do like
him or Guillorme.
I would like to have.
Who you pick between him and Guillorme?
Both. Absolutely,
you can't have both. Well, you could, I guess.
I'm chucking Duvall into.
Why? Because he hits home runs.
I'm chucking Duvall to freaking San Francisco, where careers go to die. All right.
Sorry, folks. If you don't know, Mets fan doesn't know. He doesn't like actual runs. He just likes the ones that are rated and created.
Yeah.
He doesn't care about them.
One day I'm gonna sit all fucking 6 of us down, and I'm actually gonna show you guys what WRC Plus is, and it's not just this big fucking boogeyman shit that you gotta hide under your pillow from. All right, RBIs are good for WRC Plus.
Well, then why do you not like him?
Okay.
Guy hits 30 homers, drives in 100 runs. What's wrong with him? Nothing wrong with him.
Well, it's all about components, and it's not about it's about the formula. Okay.
The formula. What is this? The Krabby Patty formula? What are we doing here?
The Krabby Patty formula. Fuck off. All right. I feel like being feisty today, man.
You know what? This is a better version. We also have to talk about it. Well, at least a component of trade. Anything else? Well, get out what you got about Duvall of the bench before we get into it.
Another guy you have listed here who I don't think you said anything about, or is he getting traded for?
Oh,
the other outfielder.
Oh, I don't know. Those guys are just different. I honestly forgot those guys existed. So, yeah, we'll get to that in a second. Let me. I guess this is. Oh yeah, we also have to talk. Oh, I forgot. I did not add this because I wanted extra defensive bat. Very good defensive player and another guy who can kill right-handed pitching is Cole Calhoun. Is another guy potentially. You see outside Corey Dickerson as another option. Again, pretty good. Again, kind of fourth outfielders, but also having McCutchen. But McCutchen can be kind of your lefty killer, and like Miller can be your flex, utility guy and kill right-handed pitching. Cole Calhoun can be your maybe defensive replacement if you're not loving your defense with Brian out there. Then maybe you can move Brian to third late in games, take Eddie Escobar out, and you can put in Adam Duvall. No, don't. Adam Duvall's still decent defensively, but is average defensively. And then you put Cole Calhoun, former Gold Glove defensive nom. I don't know if he was a nominee. He was a nominee. I didn't think he won. I don't think. What did he win a Gold Glove?
It's irrelevant. Who the fuck cares?
It's a very relevant statement, but yeah,
who Calhoun. The fuck cares? Like, who cares? Okay, who cares?
Because it goes against your theories, of course not.
No one cares. It's literally whoever shows up on the Sports Center highlight reel the most. Okay.
Hey, Cole Calhoun's good at that. So again, good.
And who's the better fielding percentage? Jesus Christ, get out of 1978.
Nah, those are good days. Baseball was fun back then. Frank would know. But again, Cole Calhoun, solid defender, pop against righties, pop 30 homers in a year. Again, defensively, right-handed bat, nothing wrong with that. As you guys, what we got? The Jet. Here we go. Suzuki. I'm tentative to sign guys from Japan, and it's just something about them. Like again, you get Ohtani, and then you get like.
Okay. What? There's something about him.
There's something not that way as a ball player.
Something very about him.
There's just again, you can get one Shohei Ohtani, and then you get a Kaz Matsui, a Shogo Akiyama. God knows how many other flop Japanese superstars have come over. So depending on his price, again, I know he's in his prime. He's 27. He's 27 years old. He's putting up great numbers, and his WRC plus was good. Great batting average, good OPS. I would look into it, but I'm not a guy. It's a risk signing the international guys, and it's released from Japan.
He ready? Is he MLB ready?
Again, that's the other thing. Am I going to have to put him in AAA to develop a little bit, or we don't know? Again, I haven't looked that much into him. I know I saw the article. I read the article about him, but I have watched a couple highlights on Twitter about him. But
he's going to get a long-term deal, and if you can get him to 1 year and just
I'd give him I'd give him a
see him in
spring
training
deal. But yeah,
see him in spring training to
excuse me. I just think people see Ohtani and it's just like I don't know. It's just again for every hit from the Nippon League, there's 8 to 10 duds. So again, I'd look into it. I think again to be in the conversation, I talk to him, but I'm not like we have to sign this guy. Everyone again, Verlander, Boomer. I think you missed it earlier. Again with the qualifying offer. It's no interest for me. I'm not losing a draft pick for a guy coming off Tommy John. Again, 3 years ago, 100%. Not now. Him coming off Tommy John. The Mets aren't in that position to go for the risk for the reward. The Mets kind of need some kind of stable answers, and I think I'm going to answer that with the trade with a player who I have always loved. I think he's a really good player. He struggled in the beginning of the year, turned it around, finally back to being himself in the second half. Yeah, Mad Max isn't coming. I don't know why his name brought up, but yeah, Mad Max is never coming to the Mets. Just for some reason, he's a weirdo and also a piece of shit. Sorry. I think he might be. No, he's in the Alonso class, if you know what I mean. Uh, he's in that class. Robbie Ray or Rondon. Don't be fooled. I think that's the only thing. Both guys, again, I think Frank About Sports made a good video about it. Both of these guys are kind of 1-year wonders where, like, you look at their whole careers. Carlos Rodon was non-tendered last year. I think nobody's remembering that. He was non-tendered and then picked back up by the White Sox. And Robbie Ray was BP for the Blue Jays in 2020 and 2019.
And in MLB The Show. So,
and he had probably the worst player of the month card ever. So he got a lightning card, and that card was trash.
Thick, though, like, sorry.
Again, I would be in. I talked to him, but there is some risk signing both of them because, again, you're probably not going to get that again. I kind of like more of what.
You guys are calling him just a 1-year wonder because he's had one probably good notable
Well, it's year, one elite season.
Let's be real. None of you know if he's actually a sustainable pitcher.
Yes, I've looked at his ERA.
I'm exposing all of you right now. You
can just watch baseball. The Mets poured 20 runs on Robbie.
None of you actually know.
You don't know.
Oh, I could probably figure it out.
Hey,
I had some great projections that I found today from the beginning of they're not that good. We're gonna just split hairs and just be like that kid at the that kid at the freaking sleepover. It's like at midnight. He's like, "Oh, it's tomorrow now."
Maybe we'll do that for a Rhino hour. Just go through.
Dude, why am I always getting so angry on Rhino hour?
I don't know, bro. Rhino hour is just getting all your frustrations out. Kershaw is. Yeah, you guys, Kershaw's not going anywhere. Seattle? Him, Jordan. No, he's a free agent now. And there's no qualifying offer.
Let me.
Seattle, because George Kirby's coming up. They have Emerson Hancock coming up too. That might not be a bad shout. I mean, elite Chris Flexen as well. Not a bad idea if the what's it called? Kevin Gausman, another 1-year wonder, Kevin Gausman. But also Kevin Gausman was a top prospect, and he kind of started to turn around last year and the year before with the Braves. But, he had a really good season this year. Another guy, again, buy and beware. But I do think Gausman's a good pitcher. We're finally starting to see the product that we thought we'd get. He was like a number 2 pitching prospect in the game. I think he was behind who was it with him? Taijuan Walker was in that class with him as well. It was Gausman, Walker, and who was the other guy? Dylan Bundy was the big one. Those were like the 3 next in like 2016 prospects. I love prospects too much that I know this class. So again, it's just another guy, buy and beware.
Kershaw. I was trying to figure out if Kershaw had like a relationship with Jeremy Hefner, but I think I'm thinking of someone else.
And he's not coming here, so I just Corey Knebel. I like, again, another guy, not a closer, but really good, 7th, 8th, and 7th.
He's going to get an overpay.
Somebody's going to overpay 100% because the Dodgers made him look really good. But, again, a guy I'd be interested in. Again, sniff around the price. If we can get him on a good deal, like a Trevor May type deal, not against it. But, again, I'd kind of look to go a little. What? What are you laughing at? What?
Nothing I can show on stream.
All right, bet. Just there you go. Maybe trying if the Dodgers, I would not expect them to move Blake Trinan. What a trash profile pick, Mike White. What are you, freaking casual? Sorry, Boomer. But yeah, the Dodgers aren't going to move off Blake Trinan. He's probably going to be their closer now. Well, I mean, they're going to resign. I would think they'd resign Kenley, but worst case, Trinan would probably be their new closer. Josh Hader on the market. We say this every year. The Brewers aren't going to trade Hader. Like, we say this every year with Hader. Oh, the Brewers are going to move him. The Brewers. I mean, the closer gets to he's closer to. I think he's a free agent the next year, right? What is it? I can't read it. You got to read it to me.
All right. As of Tuesday afternoon, no offer has been made from the Mets to Adam Cromie to be the next GM, but he was the front runner. He had done multiple interviews. Offer could come in the next 24 to 48 hours,
boy.
unless Steve Cohen doesn't like what he hears in the conversation with Cromie. All right, so he's not going to like what he hears in the conversation.
Okay, yeah, definitely. All right, our passion's gonna dig up some dirt.
I don't even want this guy.
I don't want. But part of me just wants this fiasco to be over with. I'm just like, all right, just get someone here. But yeah, so I guess now, like we have to talk about the trade because there is a starting pitcher on the market. Actually, there could be two, but I think one's a lot more appealing than the other. Cincinnati Reds starter Luis Castillo. I know he is a very hot topic, and I think I'm going to say something that I don't think people are going to like to hear, but I think this trade package you would want if anybody is going to acquire on a Luis Castillo trade, you're going to have to give up a package comparable. Look at me using big words. I don't think I said it right, but comparable to the Jose Barrios trade. Meaning you're going to have to give up your kind of number one or number two prospect and a pretty solid pitching prospect back, in which they gave up Austin Martin, who was the 7th overall pick in the draft, and Simone Woods Richardson. So I would expect you're going to have to give up a pretty solid prospect, probably a Mauricio, to maybe because you're not moving Beatty. I'm afraid that I'm not moving Beatty, and I wouldn't like to move Alvarez. I think there was a definite no to Alvarez, but again, beginning of the season was bad. And it's kind of funny where a lot of pitchers are really good, then sticky stuff happened, and then they turn to shit. Well, Luis Castillo kind of went the other way. He was really bad, and then sticky stuff happened, and then he became back to being Luis Castillo after a pretty good 2020. Again, great changeups, one of the best changeups in the league. Just, again, two-pitch kind of a two-fastball slider, has a little bit of its throws a slider once in a while. Doesn't really throw curveball much, I don't think. Baseball Savant, you can back me up. If you want to look up the Savant page. Or Fangraph, whatever you use preferably. I just kind of use Baseball Savant because it's fun. Hefner, if you gave Hefner Castillo, that would be nice. I would expect a J.D. Davis would probably have to be as well. I would think Mauricio would be the big piece, but you could probably give him a J.D. Davis. Maybe you can ask back, maybe giving up, if we can ask for a Nick Senzel, but also, are they going to finally give him playing time in right field if Castellanos leaves? But, who knows? Do you call our old buddy Jesse Winker? Maybe you want to go Eugenio Suarez? If you don't want to go the Correa route, you can call Suarez. I don't particularly love that option, but, there's an option. There's a power bat. Bad defensively. I'm just trying to think. I kind of like Michael Lorenzen, maybe as an arm. Maybe if you can get a second arm in the bullpen, I wouldn't mind asking about either a Garrett or a Michael Lorenzen. Wouldn't mind that either. Just an extra arm in the bullpen that again, what Hefner can do. Oh my God. We're not trading Mauricio for Matt Chapman. That's a fucking overpay. That's an overpay. J-Ram is different, but I'm not trading any more prospects to Cleveland. They have enough of us. Enough shortstops. I'm done trading with Cleveland unless they give me
What about Seattle?
That's who they just stop. No more players from Seattle or no more players from Cleveland. So just throw them off the list. Just throw them out there. J-Ram is trade value, trade market. I'm happy to say that thankfully the Braves are probably not going to be in that market because if Austin Riley didn't pop off, I would have thought J-Ram would have been a Brave. So I'm happy that, I guess, part of me he's not happy that Riley's popped off, but hopefully, the Braves are hopefully he goes back to being average and they don't trade for J-Ram. But Lorenzen, I like Michael Lorenzen. Bieber and James. Bro, are you just you want to just empty our farm system to Cleveland again? We already done that once. Didn't work out the first time. Let's not try twice. Didn't work out the first time. We got a upgraded Andrelton Simmons and a BP thrower. Didn't work that well. I was waiting. I thought I'd get you fired up right there.
Sure.
I mean, they had the same batting average.
Buxton.
Yeah, Byron Buxton, another guy. Risk is just he's never healthy, and I think now we can I think we all can say like he's gonna miss time. Like you trade for him, he's gonna miss time. Like you just got to bank on that. That he just cannot stay healthy, but he's productive when he is on the field. I think he's one of the more exciting players, kind of underrated exciting players in the game to watch. Just an electric factory of speed, power, and defense. But again, I would like to trade for Castillo, and I would trade for Castillo. My final offer would probably be JD, Mauricio, and I don't know. We need to sign Chafin. I went Diekman over Chafin, but either one works. I truly give me either of them. I'm flip a coin. I'm good either way. You the same thing, or do you prefer Diekman over Chafin?
I like Diekman better.
Again, it's flip a coin. They're both very solid, the great relievers, left-handed. So I like drop that. So now I guess I will throw up what the roster of the Rhino Dream Team is. Here you go. The starting lineup, leading off and playing left field, number 9, Brandon Nimmo. Batting second and playing center field, number 8, I guess. I don't know what number he is. I don't know what number. What number did he wear?
Give him 2. Give him 2.
Give him 2. Okay. Number 2, Starling Marte. Batting third and playing second base. I know he probably shouldn't be hitting third, but you know what? I like it as my lineup and piss off. Javier Baez playing second and batting third. Batting first, the first baseman, the tub himself, shithead. Batting fifth would be Francisco Lindor. And playing shortstop. Batting sixth would be Chris Bryant playing right field. Batting seventh would be the designated hitter, Adam Duvall. Batting eighth, Eduardo Escobar, and playing third. And behind the plate, the GOAT himself, James McChicken, behind the plate and batting ninth. On the bench, obviously, we got Nedot, we got Cole Calhoun, Brad Miller, Luis Guillorme, Andrew McCutchen. The rotation would go to DeGrom, Syndergaard, Castillo, Carrasco, and Gray. Taijuan Walker would become my longman in this situation with Trevor May, Diekman, Loop, Graveman, Lugo, and the closer himself, Edwin Diaz. That would be the Rhinos. Kind of imagine Castillo and what's it called? I wouldn't mind Jesse Winker as the left fielder, but it would be kind of fun if you put what's it called left, get Nemo, and then you don't sign Marte, but he's also pretty bad defensively. Kyle Schwarber, I could actually see him leaving Boston because they do have the Bobby Dahlbeck and Tristan Casey. I think it's Kaz. I don't know if it's Kaz or Casey. Tristan Casey or Kaz. He's their top prospect. He's also a first baseman. Could be an option for. Again, I think that the Red Sox are trying to re-sign him, but I could see somebody giving him a big deal. I wouldn't mind him to be the DH. I just went with Duvall. Nelson Cruz, again, another veteran. That could be something for another clubhouse guy, maybe instead of McCutchen, signing Nelson Cruz. So how would you rate this team if this was your opening day roster, 26-man roster, Mets fan? How are you feeling about this team?
Well, let's do the math here. You have tons of talent here, but again, you got to factor in 60% of their talent, which they'll lose when they put on a Mets uniform.
Very true.
So when you be realistic here, you're probably getting about 79 wins here.
Most likely, yeah. 2 games under.
It's an improvement from this year.
It is an improvement, yes, very much.
But it's 79 wins.
Is it because I don't have a new catcher in McChicken?
Because they always disappoint you. No, it's just because they always disappoint you.
That is very true.
Because fuck this team. I'm sorry.
That is 100%.
I hate. There's no team I hate more than the Mets. It really isn't.
That is a fact.
There's no team I love more than the Mets, but I hate the Mets. I really hate them.
100%. So we have a couple minutes, and since this is Rhino Hour, I do let the audience come on. So Mets fan, if you wouldn't mind dropping the link in the chat, we'll wait a couple minutes if anyone wants to, as Mets fan has dropped the link in the chat. If you want to call in, talk about my roster, what you hopefully would think the Mets would do, you got a couple minutes. So if you want to come on, hop on to discuss what you want the Mets to do or just tear my team apart, wouldn't be surprised. Come on now. Mets fan 0 out of 10. Damn, why are you shitting on Mets? This man's coming for you, man. Man, Ray out here don't like you.
I don't want anyone to like me. No one.
I mean, you are pretty unlikable.
If
you want to call in, just make your name.
Enemies, not friends.
Facts. If you do want to call in, just make your name, StreamYard name, your YouTube name, so I know I can put face to face. If not, we'll just again kind of give our final remarks, and then we'll call it a night. If nobody wants to come on in and rip my team apart, which again the group chat, nobody else in Mets Weekly wanted to rip my team apart, so that's kind of sad. But one tub's enough, I guess.
Patriots are working hard to get a deal done with Odell Beckham Jr.
Why do you go to New England? Dude, go to LA. Go ring chase. I want you to ring. Going to New England does nothing. Like, you ain't gonna do anything in New England. Like, you're gonna finish second in the division to the Bills and play with Mac Jones. You're gonna catch a bunch of screen passes. Like, I don't know. So we got our first guest. We got a couple people up in the chat. So we're gonna start with Merlin. How are you, man? How you doing? Hey, he's muted. What is up?
Also, a good trading. We call the Reds. We get Luis Castillo and maybe like a outfielder or maybe maybe anything with Suarez, but that's most likely not happening. We saw how anything with Suarez. He only hits for power, and he had like a almost sub 200 batting average. And we give up Ronnie Mauricio.
Okay.
Maybe I might want to get rid of Robinson Cano but I don't think the Reds want to tender his contract.
Speaking of, I'll talk about what I do with that Cano contract, but I'll let you get your piece out before I talk about that. Yeah.
Okay.
Again.
Here we go. Because somehow I'm busy. Unfortunately.
So, I guess I'll say it now. Well,
we got. Maybe not have extra.
What do you say?
So, see ya.
All right. Robinson Cano. Here's the deal with Cano. I just give him. He's got $41 million left on his deal. He can legit take his $41 million. Give him buy him a yacht and just let him sail to the end of time. Like, just give him the $41 million in a briefcase, and then just kind of see you. Bye.
Right off on the taxes.
Right off on the taxes. We got somebody else. Who is this? Oh God.
Yo. What up?
What's up, Sergio? What you got?
One of the thing is, why do we have Cabrera as the word, whatever his name is? Why would you sign him to a deal? I mean, he does drive in RBIs, but I mean, he's kind of old. He's like, what? How old is he? Like 36, right?
Oh, who Eduardo Escobar? Oh, again,
Eduardo,
yeah. It's just the point of I don't want to spend big on a third baseman, which you can just I try to fill the holes. The problem with this team was all right. Got to find run producers. Yes, he's a vet. Again, also another vet to be around this team that kind of desperately needs a little bit of leadership and a couple older guy. Been to a bunch of teams. Was on the part of the Brewers postseason team. He's got a little bit of postseason success or postseason experience, not a lot of success. But again, it's not a bad thing to. Again, I'm not trying to – obviously, you could sign Correa, and I think that's what most fans are praying and hoping for. And I'm not saying I don't want Carlos Correa here. I just think, again, I am hesitant to give up the extra pick because this farm system is just, again, mid at best. It's top-heavy. Being able to bring in two comparable picks and, maybe some outfield depth, maybe an extra arm, maybe you take an outfielder and a pitcher that you can desperately need in this farm system. I'm trying to stay away from the – qualifying offer guys. Again, I would sign if the deal was on the table and Correa said, I want to sign with you, sign him. But I'm just kind of tending away from signing anybody with a qualifying offer attached to him. And Escobar would be cheap. And again, Beatty could be ready in a year. This is just kind of hey, we need to find a guy who produces runs. He does that pretty well. And he'd be cheap. And you can wait the year for Beatty. And if Beatty tears up AAA, and Escobar sucks, guess what? You could see him at the All-Star break, and Beatty could be here. So,
but at the same time, you can just re-sign Jonathan Villar, who had a really good season. So why not re-sign him again?
Well, again, you don't want to run the same team back as what this team do last year. Like I'm trying to, again, there's just kind of things of like, oh, you want to run the team back? Well, the team won 77 games. Like, and Escobar is, again, I'm just trying to fill like the problems of this team. And that, like, again, he's cheaper. VR, again, maybe he's looking for a multi-year deal. Escobar's probably a 1 year deal. Because VR did have a pretty solid year, and he's going to probably look for a starting job a la Escobar, but also VR is a little younger. He could try to go for a 2 to 3 year deal where Escobar's probably going to be a 1 year, maybe a 1+ with an option. So again, it's just thinking, trying to fix holes and also not trying to clog third base.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah. Listen.
All right, what else you got?
Also, why do you think that the Mets can get Matt Chapman by any means?
I think they can get him. I just don't want to overpay. I saw somebody saying Mauricio for Chapman. That's an overpaid him in my opinion. I think they can get a deal done, not revolving the big three or big four.
Maybe Matthew Allen can throw in there.
I wouldn't. I'm on a trading Matt Allen because again he's coming off Tommy John. I wouldn't mind it. I mean, I would like to obviously hold on to as many arms as possible, but again he's coming up. He's now, like, we just got JT Ginn back, who came off Tommy John and has pitched had about 5-6 starts at Brooklyn at the end of the year. But now Allen coming off the Tommy John, yes, I think he has a lot of potential to be a number 2 starter. I think that's kind of his ceiling. I don't think he's an ace, but I think at his ceiling is probably a number 2 starter, and I think you keep those kind of guys around. But again, Chapman on a down year, a price shouldn't be too high, especially with Oakland seems to trade good players for nothing. A la Josh Donaldson, the third baseman that comes to mind. The A's traded for literally nothing. Brett Lawrie, who retired, I think, a year later after trading the Donaldson trade. So, again, I think I would look at it if you want to go, again, another guy who's just it's the second best defensive third baseman in the game. The power bat, if he can hit – in the 7 or 8 spot, kind of how Escobar is in my lineup, where he's hitting 7 or 8. I wouldn't mind this bat. Maybe he bounces back to 2019 form. But I just think, don't overpay for him. He's not my first option. But again, if, Correa goes out and goes to Detroit, or, Bryant's not here, if I can call him and get him for a good price, I'm not against it.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, but that's pretty much it. Thanks for having me, dude.
All right, cool. Always chill. Thanks, Sergio.
Yeah,
thanks for hopping on. All right, Merlin's back, I guess, or not. He was back. Guess not. Any other final question in the chat you want to add? Oh, why would you trade Jeff McNeil? I see that one. Here's the deal with the flying choke slam squirrel. The locker room has been the biggest issue. Supposedly, everybody keeps saying that the locker room is a problem. The locker room is a problem. McNeil obviously had a bad year. I don't care what his WRC plus says. Had pretty bad batting average. Ryan, I appreciate you stopping by. I appreciate it. Have a good night. You can't have I'm not calling him a cancer, but I think Mets fans said it best on Mets Weekly. You're close to 30 years old, bro. When are you going to grow up? And, he already has the problem with Lindor. Lindor will be here. As much as, some people want him out, there's no way Lindor's going anywhere. So he's here for the long term. If there is already a fractured relationship with them now, especially once Javi came in, and came in and kind of took his job, and he came, pouty, and he's obviously his production offensively was pretty bad. You just can't keep that around the locker room. That's just kind of my thing. It's just and we all know he could be a guy like Justin Turner where he will bounce back somewhere else, depending where it is, and go back to being Jeff McNeil. But for the success of this team in the locker room,
you get a real haul for him.
And exactly, if you can get a couple decent prospects, I wouldn't mind it. All right, Merlin is back. Let's see what he's got. Merlin, what do you got now?
McNeil doesn't suck though.
He doesn't suck. I don't think he sucks, but it's just kind of, I don't know.
Okay, so I was saying I'll probably just trade Castillo, and I think he's like the only consistent pitcher who has like great numbers besides basically anyone in the trade market besides any relievers.
I mean, if you think of starting pitchers on the market, we got.
besides, like I think
besides Castillo, I'd say like maybe Sonny Gray maybe. Like I'm just trying to think of like bad teams with decent pitchers. Again, Sonny Gray, but also do you want the New York thing, which I know people think that is. It's just kind of the Yankees changed the type of pitcher he is. You know, he's not a he wanted the Yankees wanted him to throw more changeups when he's more of a sinker slider kind of guy. Yes, Robinson Cano is the leader we need. But then obviously if you look at Sonny Gray everywhere else besides New York, which the Yankees, he's Sonny Gray. He could be available. I'm just trying to think like if I doubt Baltimore wants to move John Means. Detroit's
John
now John Means is a very solid starter. The Kansas City really doesn't have anybody. I'm just like trying to go through teams with like bad teams. Texas doesn't have anybody. Yeah. So I mean, again, you gotta like
besides.
Go you, man.
As I said,
my bad.
Mark Stroman, I think we should keep him mainly because he's like more of a consistent pitcher, and like he was like a very decent pitcher when we had him. Hey, the win and loss that don't count. You can look at what he did. He pretty much had a good. He has good defensive, and he has like a low ERA in the sub threes. Something that
and he did in New York.
Besides, DeGrom.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Besides Jacob DeGrom, run before he got injured, and we don't know what happened after that until towards the end of the season. And Tyrone Walker went downhill after the first half, and Carlos Carrasco disappointing. Rich Hill, he's better of a reliever. I think if we keep him, put it in the bullpen for like maybe like a 2 or 3 inning guy, he'll do well.
Yeah. That everything. I'll make sure you get all your stuff in it. That's that good.
Well, there's like one more.
Okay, fire away.
Said, like Castillo, I think Castillo's like a free agent after the 2022 season. The year after 2022 season.
I think it's 2023. I think he's a free agent. I think he's still one more. I think it's 2023. But yeah, so you have control. You do have control over him.
Yeah, I think if you do trade for him, and if he does give you like production, you might want to keep him for like a long term. Like if he does really good, an extension happens. Like for example, I think we should sign Javier Baez. There's no way I'm trading PCA for a minor league or reliever or pitcher, because literally, if you let Baez walk, the Mets is gonna look way worse than they've been, because that's way worse than with the Jared Kelenic situation.
Yeah. You still at least get production.
And one last thing.
Mm-hmm.
The probability of Conforto coming is now slim, very slim, due to the fact that he rejected qualifying offer, and if he's asking for like more than $100 million, like a multi-year contract worth like an EAV about 25 to 30 million, I'm not doing that. Like,
yeah,
I think maybe like a short, but if you're asking for a very long-term deal, I cannot do it now. Unless it's with the other division rivals. Like, I am not letting Conforto go to the other division rivals. If it's Seattle, I'm fine with it. Or like other in the West, he may go to the West or like a rebuilding team. Like, I feel like Conforto's time is over. Mm-hmm. Besides other free agents, I think relievers, and as I said, Chafin will work. Iglesias will be extremely unlikely, but if the Mets sign him like and out of the blue, they can use him like to pressure Diaz with the bullpens. Besides that, Marte could work in center field. He got good speed, and he's great defensively, and he can get on base as well. You could use Chris Bryant for a short-term deal. Like, if it's not third base, I'm fine with right field. And you could do. Wait, I'm thinking of the last player. Yeah, Correa is definitely unlikely. I'm sorry, but that is not gonna work. I don't think the Mets have enough. Like, we have a lot of players that are out of position.
Yeah,
and that's fact.
but
Besides pitchers, Marcus Stroman, if we're saying signing depth, you can get I think German Marquez is he a free agent? I think he
no, I think
is.
you'd have to trade for him,
But
but I guess
but
you
if
could
he
probably say
is
him and
like German
Castillo.
Marquez, John Gray, or some of these pitchers that has that are soft, you could put them into you could put them depth like some and how do I say it? The GM.
How did we lose him? He's still there. He comes back. We'll bring him back. He comes back. Matt Merlin got all his shit in real quick as he's there. I think he's. Let's see, there's two of them now. Let's see. Which one's the which one? There's like two. I guess. You good? You there?
Sorry,
It's all
So
good.
yeah, one more thing before I go, because I gotta go because I have school tomorrow.
Yeah, gotta get that knowledge. What do you got?
Is that how do I say this? We're gonna pass the luxury test this year. That's a guarantee.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that's most likely it because if we're trying to pressure for if we're trying to contend for the next 3 to 5 years, we're going to need to go through the luxury test at some point. Last year, we just went slow, and all these good pitchers or decent relievers, we let them go. There are some good reliever free agents that we can sign, boost our bullpen. There are good bench players that we can sign and go to into our bench. Hey, I'm all Chris Manning means.
Yeah.
He can play. He has good utility, and for the Dodgers.
Yeah. I think we're losing you. I think your connection keeps going out. So, Merlin, I appreciate you calling in. No, there you go. Hold up. There we go. No, I'm not now. There you go. Thank you. At least you have power. You've dual power. So, Merlin, I appreciate you calling in. Running a little late on time too. So I guess we'll respond to some of the stuff he did say. Some pretty good points. Again, Castillo, I think now, and I think him bringing up German Marquez is another probably the best kind of available, I would think, starters on the market and via the trade options. Stroman, again, you'd probably think has more value than Gosman. I think Frank has said it over a Gosman or Robbie Ray, which he's done it in New York, which is kind of a big thing with the Mets is you have to do it in New York. It's nice doing it there, but again, it's just kind of he's a good pitcher again, and pitching should be the biggest thing is deepening this roster. Pitching wise, and again, like a Mets fan has said, not bad to have a full minor league, major league, minor league, AAA team. It's full of former major leaguers, either guys you have options with or veterans that are just looking for one last shot. Hopefully, you can find a lightning in a bottle kind of guy. You got any reactions to what Merlin said or thoughts?
I think basically what I said at the beginning with Correa, it's probably a lot more. It's very unrealistic at this point. I think there's the financial flexibility to bring him in, but I don't see us being as aggressive as other teams are going to be with him for a team that needs a actual shortstop. We have a shortstop. We still don't know the direct answer if he wants to play third base or not.
Yeah.
So I know he said that he's down to play third base before, but answers can change easily. So I don't know. Money can change that as well. So I would not go all in for Correa, even though I think Correa is the number one guy to get. You want to, I don't want to block out. You don't want to block out Beatty, but again, bringing in a guy like Chris Bryant can shift him over to right field. You have your stop block there if you need that. I mean, there's different things that you can do, and I think Chris Bryant is your best option here, and I think it benefits them a lot. And we'll see what they do, because you have less than a month now to make any move, and they still haven't made the first move for the guy who's going to make the moves. So, we'll just have to wait and see, and hopefully we just don't fuck it up. That's all. Okay.
We'll answer like one or two questions, and then we'll call it a Rhino hour. George, do you think Cohen bringing in Sandy's popularity is going to screw him later? Again, everybody seems to want Sandy Alderson to take a seat, or again go on that Robinson Cano yacht and never come back to baseball. Again, Cohen brought him in probably for the first year just to, kind of keep him in check and say, you know what, don't go nuts with the money. You gotta you gotta prove, but the owners don't like you. Kind of, slowly roll it to a point. And now Sandy is, again, as Mets fan has said thousands of times on Mets Weekly, where Sandy's budget ball doesn't work in today's game, especially in this kind of market. It'll work in Seattle, back a couple of years ago. It works in Oakland. It doesn't work in New York, especially now. It worked the Wilpons, but Steve Cohen isn't the Wilpons. He wants to, build a very sexy toy and really doesn't care how much it costs. And that's not Sandy's kind of forte. So yeah. What do you think?
I think the plan was for Sandy to bring in for the year and kind of have this year to be that transition year to Jared Porter and Zach Scott, and they're both gone because they acted like idiots, and now they're kind of just stuck, and they're looking for plan B, then they're looking for plan C. You're probably up to plan N at this point.
I mean,
that's
Z,
pretty much where you're at.
Yeah.
Plan Z squared. I mean, that's where you're at. Like that. That's
pretty much.
I mean, they're desperate at this point, and I
100%.
I don't know what to say.
They went to a lawyer.
The damage is done.
Yeah.
And I don't know what to say anymore. I'm really starting to lose patience, and I'm a very patient guy myself, but.
But yeah, every day closer to the lockout. That's how I kind of see it, and stuff's gonna move fast. There's gonna be deals once the 17th. I think even before the 17th, you'll start seeing stuff. But once the 17th hits, it's gonna be.
Yesterday was the first time I actually saw the Mets revolved around a free agent with Chris Bryant, and that's what worries me. I feel like they're gonna be too many steps behind. And they already are. And they don't have, comparing to just the 29 other teams, they don't have anything. They have
players. That's all they got. Yeah, they have some guys.
They have about 2 guarantees on their roster right now out of a possible 40 you can create. So. And then you don't have anybody in that front office right now. You pretty much have 5 guys there who have been there forever, led by Sandy, the game has completely passed them by. And he's also had a history of hiring some guys who it has not worked out. So I'm really getting impatient. I really am. But again, it only makes up for more satire tweets, and that's it. So
and we will end it on this question. It seems to end it on Merlin being, again, guys like Realmuto and Scherzer and other guys that just don't want to come here because of off-field antics against the media or the pressure. Whatever, a la how Stroman has done it, and that's why Stroman has a little more value than a Kevin Gausman or Robbie Ray or Eduardo Escobar or whoever. Eduardo Rodriguez, not Eduardo Escobar. And the rotation is kind of why has a little more value, because he has done it in New York, different than other guys who haven't done. Does that factor into you at all, or is that just kind of just BS?
Oh man, it's so hard to say because everyone reacts different. I I I don't know. It's so hard to think because you don't know how someone's going to handle New York, and especially with a team that has kind of suffered through so much underperforming. We want the results now. I don't blame the fans for wanting the results, but there's an extra there's an extra component to playing in New York, and some guys have it and some guys don't, and most of the guys don't have it given our history of signing guys and bringing them in. And yeah, I don't know. It's very hard to think, they can't handle it or they don't handle it. It's not like the NFL where everything is you're all on a national stage. The MLB is kind of split up into a lot of groups. And that's just how that's how I see it, and that's it.
That's a
sure. Why not?
Hey, that's why Texas
possibility.
That's why Texas and Florida have advantages, man. There's no state tax. Nevada, if they, Vegas, they get a major league team, another advantage. But people want it, but they will pay that ton of taxes in California though. But they don't want to pay them in New York.
No advantages to having a football team in Vegas, but
yeah, all you get is I'm not making that joke. I'm gonna save that one for off stream, but flop first round picks. That's what I was gonna say. Just a bunch of flop first round picks. Nothing else.
Gruden grinders.
Just some Gruden grinders. Nothing else is boiling in that organization. Nothing wrong. Nothing besides the point. Let's end this stream before we say something that will get me canceled. But I really don't care. You want to plug anything? If you got any?
No, not really. All I want to plug is really Mets Weekly this Thursday. That's it. Yeah. Tune in. We could have a special guest. It depends. Some fun stuff coming up. We got some stuff for Mets Weekly. I have a few videos, but not really don't really have anything set in stone right now. But other than that, Rhino Hour, fun as usual. Thank you for having me or being blessed with my presence. Whichever one you want to configure, and that's it. And I hate sports scheduling because a hockey game and a basketball game and then nothing the next day. So
facts.
Just everything in sports is wrong. That's about it.
Pretty much.
On that. There you go.
There you go. Upcoming content, AEW week, Full Gear this weekend. I will actually upload a sit down video. I'm not going to stream one day, and I'll probably do predictions for Full Gear, and then you'll get a live stream on Sunday, going over Full Gear, the reaction to the show. Going to be hopefully another great AEW. Please put the belt on Hangman. Don't mess around, TK. Just put the belt on the Cowboy, please. On that note.
Yeah, what he said. Yep.
Follow him on Twitter at MetsFan on YT. Follow me on Twitter. I'm funny on Twitter at Andrew Acevedo 34. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.